hello my loves, Marhaba, habibetey. You guys remember like back before even I moved to London when I used to film these like super late in the middle of the night videos for you? It's gonna be one of those tonight. It is ridiculously late, but I have been wearing this foundation all day and I've only got the sample, and so I thought I had to do this now, or else we were gonna miss the money shot, which is me actually wearing the foundation on camera. So if you haven't oh my goodness, if you couldn't tell by the title, I'm reviewing the Fenty Beauty. This is why I've never filmed a video in my life. Like, what is going on? The Fenty Beauty by Rihanna Pro Filter Instant Retouch Primer and Soft Matte Longwear Foundation. So this little sample pack came in the sample set that I got at the Sephora VIB Rouge preview event. So I used the primer today, and then I used shade 150 and 220 mixed together. I will say, I think, based on the way that I'm seeing the colors I wore as well as the ones in here, it looks like your odd numbers, like your shades ending in odd numbers, are your more cool toned or pink undertoned foundations, and the even toned are like a more yellow or warm based foundation. So there's over 40, sorry, there are 40 shades exactly. I have heard that she is thinking of coming out with even more, which is fantastic. You guys have heard me get on my soapbox and not understanding why there are not more shade ranges available across foundations. Like, I don't understand why you come out with like 6 or 7 different shades and they're all super light. It just doesn't make any sense to me. So super kudos, I'm not the first one to say this, but super kudos on the wide shade range, and I'm excited to see even more come out from her. Here's what I will tell you, the short answer to what I thought about this. I thought I would come here, tell you kudos about the shade range, and that would kind of be it for my like super excited pros about this foundation. Boy, was I wrong. I was not expecting to buy into the hype. I am super hard to please with foundation, super hard to please with foundation. Really picky. This stuff is actually amazing. I will tell you why, and I'll tell you kind of why it works for my skin and the way my skin acts and all these kinds of things, just so that you can see if it will work for you and you will have equally amazing results with it. Okay, so details of the foundation. 1 ounce of product, just like anything else. It comes in these kind of glass bottles with a pump, so packaging is really standard. $42 for the bottle of foundation, so definitely not in a drugstore, but not super high end either on the spectrum. I feel like kind of mid-range. I just spent $250 on that Clit and Pull foundation, so my idea of crazy high end is a little different maybe than most, but mid-range, like I mean YSL, Marc Jacobs are all going to be more expensive than this, so I think it's priced nice in the mid-range. No discernible smell for either the primer or foundation. The primer is kind of a heavier liquid. Like, it's not a super runny liquid, but it's not so thick that it's a cream. It's somewhere in between. It spreads on really nicely. No irritation to the skin. I have, again, really sensitive skin to primer. This one did well. If I do break out tomorrow or the day after, I'll like update the little description box down below. But usually if I'm gonna break out, it happens pretty quick, and I haven't, so it's fantastic. The foundation itself is quite runny. It's a very liquid foundation. So that's what it is in terms of texture, consistency. No, like I said, no smell. It dries down pretty quickly, but you can work with it. It's not like you have to do kind of one half of your face at a time. You can work with it pretty, there's a pretty generous timing on being able to work with it. I'm not answering text messages. I'm just trying to pull the picture up of this morning when I just had the foundation on. So this is, yes, super pretty, right? This is me this morning with just the foundation and the primer, no filter, obviously, no powder, nothing else. So by way of background, my skin is strange. It has a tendency to be dehydrated. It's not dry, it just has a tendency to get dehydrated if I don't moisturize it properly or layer it with products that are really stripping. So it does have the tendency to be dehydrated, but I also get quite oily in my T-zone and usually kind of around here on my cheeks throughout the day. This is the first foundation I have ever worn that I didn't feel at any point during the day I wanted to blot or touch up with powder, not once, not a single time. I put a tiny little bit of powder on in the morning, just in my T-zone, because it is one of those foundations that kind of, because it's so matte, is almost powdery. So you don't want to overdo it with the powder because then it just looks chalky. So I only put a tiny bit in the morning, and that's really all. I probably didn't even need that, honestly. So I think in terms of how long it wore matte, I was incredibly surprised. Also, this is me at like, what are we at, 18 hours of wear now? So this is what my face looks like now. Let me show you what it looked like when I just had first put on my makeup in the morning. So I know we're comparing a picture to like me sitting here in real life, but there's not a huge amount of difference. I mean, there is some wear happening in my, like by my nose, because I've had curry and I've been like blowing my nose. There's gonna be like a little bit, I find like a little bit in my cheeks, but it always, everything always wears there. But nothing as crazy as I was imagining. It's insane. I'm honestly super, super shocked. Does not oxidize, so that's good. Oxidize meaning like once it gets out, it's oxygen, spit in the sun for a little bit, or just like the natural elements, it gets darker. None of that. So this shade that you will match to will, you know, you don't want to walk around for a little bit, you're good. That's the shade it'll be. There was something else I wanted to mention. Oh my goodness. You guys, this is what I get for filming super late. There is another detail. Smell, long wear, price. It plays well with other products. I tried to layer as many of my Fenty beauty products as I could. So I wore my, like the cream stick highlighter in Confetti, and then the powder in something crystal. I'll put it in the description box over top of it, and they're still wearing really well throughout the end of the day. And so yeah, there is another thing that I wanted to mention about it, but it's totally spaced from my head. If I remember it, my mom has this thing and she goes, if it's really important, you wouldn't have forgotten it. Like if it was really that memorable, it should be top of mind. So if it comes back to me and it's important, I'll put it down in the description box. But yeah, long story short, I was super pleasantly surprised with how much I love this. Honestly, the only thing stopping me from rushing out and buying a bottle is that I just spent that crazy amount of money on the Clé de Peau foundation. So we'll see if I'm having one of those days where I have like an emotional shopping moment and just splurge and buy it, or I wait till I make my way through some of the Clé de Peau stuff that I've got before I jump into this. So yeah, I think that was all I wanted to share with you guys. Let me know if you've tried it out, if you have any questions, or you have your own thoughts on it and all that kind of good stuff. This is really bugging me because I cannot remember what it was that I wanted to tell you about it. Anyways, points of positivity, let's do it. Okay, first point of positivity is a super pleasant surprise as it comes to this foundation. That made me really happy. My second point of positivity is some really yummy curry that I had for dinner. And my third is filming for the second night in a row. I've forgotten how much this kind of completely lifts my mood and makes me really happy. So thank you for letting me hang out with you guys tonight. Anyways, that is it for me today. I'm gonna go edit this video and go to bed. But before I leave you, as always, let me remind you that life is just way too short to wear boring lipstick. Bye guys.